Good Friday afternoon, morning, evening. Welcome aboard, and Valentine's Day. Welcome aboard our Friday market wrap up here at TOPGUN Options. Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. And folks, we had an epic week of live trading and training. If you missed anything, head to go.topgunoptions.com/FT-replay. Make sure you take a look at Tuesday's replay. Just scroll down. That's day 2 right there. Click that button. Why? Because we placed a trade that made 150% in a day, in less than 24 hours. Here was the live trade brief on Tuesday. We covered a tactic called a bearish double vertical on the S&P 500 and what happened the next morning. The market absolutely imploded on hot inflation. Inflation ticked up for the 5th month in a row. We actually hit 3% inflation. The market did not like that. You could have closed the bearish double vertical trade that we covered on Tuesday for a one-day profit, 150%. That would have paid for an annual membership here at TOPGUN Options. And then down at the bottom, I said, you know what? Maybe roll inverted, or verted in this case, and do a bullish double vertical because the market did not look back. Again, men lie, trades don't. All of this was recorded. It's on the replay page right here. If you don't believe me, go watch the replay, okay? And I showed you some of the testimonials from current TGO members who placed those trades. $1,800 profit, 150%, $2,800 profit, boom, in a single day. So real quick, before we get airborne with my Friday market wrap-up, there's only a couple spots left for our full throttle, industry-leading full throttle program. Go to our homepage, topgunoptions.com. Underneath trade groups, click on full throttle. It's only $295 if you want to keep kicking the tires, right? However, the majority of our TGO members are in the full throttle max annual, $29.95, folks. Again, with potentially one trade this week, it was paid for. Or you can keep kicking the tires with access to the Hunters. That is one of our investment clubs right here. It's got 2 threads. It's got my intel and commentary where I post my intel and commentary, and then the trade alerts thread. Look at that. Look at this yesterday, folks. Atai sent out a trade alert. When it bottomed out at 205 yesterday, I bought another 1,000 shares. Let's go look at Atai. Have you seen Atai? I told you to buy it a couple weeks ago with both hands. Let me go 1 month here. Look at this. Boom. Let me show you yesterday. Right there at 205 when I had a buy order in at $2. It didn't hit $2, but when I saw it turn right here, I said, you know what? I'm getting another 1,000 shares here. I'm already up 20% in a day on Atai. You have got to buy Atai with both hands, ladies and gentlemen. Why? It's a psychedelic stock. I covered this on Wednesday in our so look at that, man. Atai's we were up 30, 40, almost 50% in Atai. And we're crushing it in a couple days. Why? Ladies and gentlemen, RFK Jr. just got confirmed. So go watch the replay. It's the one in the middle right here, day 3. Look at that. Buy the psychedelic stocks now, right? This was the day before he got confirmed. All the big pharma names are getting destroyed. All the psychedelic names are rallying. I've been on point on this, folks. Again, one more time, you got to join. I have no idea what you're waiting here, folks. Again, men lie, trades don't. I didn't give you 120 PowerPoint slides this week. Monday, in the free solo Amazon brief, we got airborne and started trading. We looked at a long-term bullish trade on Amazon, the only stock you need to own. It's $97 a month, folks, just for the solo Amazon service, right? Or I'll throw in 2 months if you do an annual membership for $970. Okay? So now let's go ahead and get airborne and start talking through some stuff. Hey, newest podcast just dropped of the Max Afterburner podcast. My beautiful bride, Susie, sat down with Carrie from Mental Joe. They're the company that makes all the really cool shirts that I wear and the images. They made our Maverick Mind stuff. So Susie and her talk about healing on the family side, right? As a military spouse and also with children, having to put up with guys like me who aren't healed. And then they both, Susie and Carrie, also did the medicine. And we've never been better couples, parents, or human beings. If you don't feel like seeing their faces, you can go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever cool kids listen to podcasts. Episode 120, Healing Together, the Power of Family and Veteran and First Responder Recovery. Big week. Was featured on Fox News. Like a car crash, Navy fighter pilot describes brain injury phenomenon now at the center of a congressional probe. I've been contacted by at least 2 congressional offices. Looks like I'll be heading up to D.C. again because this is absolutely unsat. One part of the Navy knew that fighter pilots were getting the shit beat out of them. Their brains, their bodies, their souls, and kept it quiet. So Big Navy is a little upset. Congress is obviously a little upset. But guess what?
Pamela Wilson here from Big Brand
with psychedelic assisted therapy.
Do you have the opportunity to get advice about speaking from Grant Baldwin? Do you have the opportunity to get advice about speaking from...
All right, goodbye. Okay, let's go ahead and get going here. We got to talk about Raytheon, folks. My gut was right. What was my gut? Ages ago, seems like ages ago. Let me open up our radar range here. Let's go to 6 months. Back here, folks, got bullish on Raytheon. Why? They swung to a profit and raised their forward guidance. Great news, right? And then Donald Trump got elected and said, no more wars, no more anything. I'm like, you know what? I am not long-term bullish anymore on Raytheon. I went to neutral. I said, you know what? He's going to go into the Pentagon, talk to Pete Hegseth, and he's going to go, Mr. President, we're out of weapons. We gave all our bombs to Ukraine, all our shit to Israel. We're out of weapons. We need to rebuild our military. So I said, you know what? I'll be neutral for a little bit on Raytheon, but Trump bringing peace to the world, folks. You have got to eventually be bearish on these defense stocks. Oh boy. Well, look what happened. My initial gut was right. I should have pounded Raytheon into the dirt. This thing's got 114 written all over it. Not going out of business anytime soon. Donald Trump versus the MIC, the military-industrial complex. We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, look at these headlines. Trump tells Xi and Putin, let's cut military budget in half. Whoa. That is sending shockwaves through the defense stocks, man. And look out below. Down another 2.5%. Today. This is going to get ugly and it's going to get accelerated to the downside. So pound Raytheon into the dirt. My strategic mindset, folks, has changed. One more time. Not going to go out of business. I think we probably go back down to the mid-teens, but I am not long-term bullish on Raytheon anymore. If I was in the Raytheon synthetic stock, I'd consider ejecting, especially after this monster run to 52-week highs, man, right? 132.43. If you're showing a nice profit in Raytheon, bail. We can deploy that capital elsewhere because these headlines are not bullish. Putin invites Trump to Moscow in a highly productive call. Oh boy, ready for peace. Again, I got my popcorn out watching Trump versus the military-industrial complex, Boeing, Raytheon, General Dynamics, all the swamp and the lobbyists and the generals and admirals who lied to us for 2 decades. Everything's going great in Iraq and Afghanistan. We just need more Gucci weapon systems that my buddy who's retired at Raytheon says we need to buy, and then he promised me a job for when I retire. There's a revolving door between the Pentagon and the defense contractors. We have got to drain that swamp. So it'll be a tough battle, but look at there's no way in hell 2 months ago you could have told me Elon Musk and Doge just taking a wrecking ball through DC. So anything can happen. And I think the MIC might have met their match. We briefed this week. China's strategy in any trade war, threaten U.S. tech companies. I'm old enough to remember them at the height of the last Trump the first trade war back to 2016 to 2020. They literally, the spokesperson in China went to the podium and a microphone and said, if this shit doesn't settle down, Apple, we're throwing you out of China. Whoa. I'm warning you that American tech, well, I'm not going to say American tech companies. I'm warning you that these tech companies are going to have to make a decision very soon. And China's going to force them to. You're either with us or you're out of our country. Where are they going to go? I remember Jeff Bezos years ago having to say, Amazon is a U.S. company. Google, all these other companies, Apple, Broadcom, are they American companies or not? Their day of reckoning is coming, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready for that. Inflation ticked up. Inflation helped Trump get elected. Now it's his problem. Biden's team blames Biden. president's team blames Biden for stubborn inflation, but Trump's own agenda could make it harder to defeat. Ladies and gentlemen, I've told you I can't stand so-called leaders who blame the previous commanding officer. You own it, right? This week, Donald Trump, when that CPI print came out super hot, Biden inflation up. Hey, Donald, you got about a couple more weeks, baby, and the honeymoon's over. You own it. The American public are only going to tolerate for a little longer Biden this, Biden that. It's Biden's inflation. You're the commanding officer. Do something, right? So he's on the tail end of his honeymoon, folks. And if you're an options trader, let me tell you, he's got theta right now, and time decay is eating away at this. Trumponomics and rising inflation. So what happened this week when inflation went up? Donald Trump called for Jerome Powell to cut rates. Are you insane? He is somewhat insane, Donald Trump. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and Donald Trump can say some dumb things. That will cause record inflation. Donald, do you understand this? I told my members end of last year, I'm like, we're not going to get any rate cuts this year, and he should be raising rates. So inflation going up 5 months in a row, ladies and gentlemen, shows that the 50 basis point cut right in front of the election was stupid and partisan. It caused more inflation. So ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. We ain't getting any rate cuts this year. And if anything, Jerome Powell's going to have to raise. And guess what? You're going to wake up one morning and see the future's down 1,000 points because of a tweet. Jerome Powell, you're fired. He won't even pick up the phone and call the guy, right? He'll fire him on X because that's the type of leader that Trump is. And, 2 days this week, Jerome Powell testified in his Humphrey Hawkins quarterly testimony. Chair Powell tells Congress Fed's in no rush to cut rates. We're well anchored. Oh boy. Setting up for a fight with Donald Trump. And now you're starting to see all the mainstream media folks, because the economy's been great for 4 years. We beat inflation. Jobs are strong. The economy's strong. Everything's great. We all knew that was bullshit. But now that Trump's in office, the mood of the consumer is souring. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. Where you been, man? And we had a great time trading Amazon this week. Amazon earnings, they fell what? Because they had blowout earnings, but they gave weaker guidance. They are spending a shit pot of money on AI. I'm in it to win it with Amazon. It's one of my core positions, and I absolutely love it. Okay, quick reminder. It's $97 a month, folks. Every Monday at 10 a.m. is our solo Amazon brief. Don't worry if you can't make it. Monday mornings at 10 a.m. I send out an app alert, right? Text alert. Listen to me. I'm so 2010. We don't do text alerts. You got an app, right? On your TOPGUN Options app, man, you get an instantaneous alert. And then I'll send out an email after the brief, just in case you're old and don't do apps. So you get the trade. And obviously, the replay is posted on the member page, right? And then if you want full throttle, just click on full throttle there and do the annual. $29.95, folks, with a couple trades this week. I paid for a couple years, essentially, man. I bought some more Thai. I did a couple snipers, folks. We're printing money. Your full throttle membership, had you attended our briefs, would have been paid for already. And I got, 48 other weeks to go here. So we're having a blast here at TOPGUN Options. One more time, if you couldn't attend and you want to watch the replays over the weekend, go.topgunoptions.com/FT-replay. We're having a blast, folks. I'm very passionate about what I do. We're only going to take a couple, I think it's 2 full throttle members. Unlimited solo Amazon, folks. You can jump in there. I don't mind the Battle of Britain in there. I do mind too many people in full throttle because we're a nice tight-knit squadron over here in our lifetime group and also our hunters. A lot of good stuff going on. Okay. How about the USA last night? Just spanking Finland. 4-nation hockey. If you're not watching that, man, you're missing it. Canada versus, who was it? Sweden the other night. And the US versus Finland last night, man. This is some of the best hockey that I've ever seen. And how about my Eagles? All right, folks, I got to get going. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you're hedged. Fights on. Namaste and Basi Basi. Basi means truth, and the truth shall set you free. We'll see you.